So, where do you think the biggest illegal wildlife black market in the entire world is actually located? If you're picturing, a hidden back alley bazaar somewhere off the grid, or maybe a dark web marketplace that needs special software to access, well, you're actually looking in the wrong place.
The shocking truth is that this massive, illicit marketplace isn't hidden in the shadows at all. It's sitting right in our pockets. It is operating completely in plain sight on Meta's platforms, specifically Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this introductory explainer. Today we're mapping out an urgent 8-part investigative series based on a groundbreaking new report titled Clicks That Kill. Over the next 7 parts of this series, we're going to unpack exactly how Meta's platforms and algorithms have essentially become the global epicenter for wildlife trafficking and why this is actively accelerating the erosion of Earth's dwindling biodiversity.
To really understand the mechanics of this crisis, here's the blueprint of our investigation. We'll be grouping our upcoming episodes into these cohesive layers. First, the coalition seeking justice. Second, the scale and the platforms. Third, algorithms and dirty money. Fourth, laws and legal shields. And finally, the path to solutions.
Let's kick things off with Layer 1, the coalition seeking justice. Who exactly compiled this devastating evidence?
Well, the Clicks That Kill report wasn't just put together by casual observers. It's actually the culmination of years of rigorous and, frankly, frustrating work by 5 major non-governmental organizations right on the front lines of wildlife conservation. We're talking about Freeland, Environment for Nature Vietnam, the International Wildlife Trust, the Liberia Chimpanzee Rescue and Protection, and PEGAS. These are investigators who have dedicated their lives to stopping wildlife crime, and they finally decided that enough was enough.
Why did they go public with this campaign? Because their work is being actively undermined. They reached an absolute breaking point, frustrated by their total inability to secure Meta's attention to an exploding problem. Imagine spending incredible amounts of money and time trying to locate and stop wildlife criminals, only to find those same suspects easily using Meta to communicate, coordinate logistics, and close sales. And to make matters worse, Meta has been systematically eliminating the very human moderators who could actually help, essentially ignoring these NGOs' pleas for intervention.
Moving on to the first 2 parts of our deep dive, we'll cover the scale and the platforms, showing you exactly how and where this massive trade happens. It is incredibly brazen. We're talking about highly endangered chimpanzees being casually showcased on Instagram, alongside literal menus posted on Facebook offering everything from giraffes and zebras to white lions and tigers for export. Traffickers aren't hiding. They are openly advertising on the exact same platforms you and I use every single day to look at photos of our friends and family. Now, you might be wondering how traffickers are so comfortable doing this. Well, it comes down to enforcement, or rather, the complete lack of it. Meta used to employ around 15,000 human moderators to enforce their community standards, but they've been phasing them out, leaning really heavily on artificial intelligence instead. As we'll see in our deep dives, this AI enforcement is completely inadequate. When you contrast the loss of those 15,000 human jobs with how easily traffickers just set up new accounts the very next day after being caught, well, the scope of the negligence becomes crystal clear.
Which brings us to the underlying tech. In parts 3 and 4 of our explainer, we examine algorithms and dirty money.
This is where the story shifts from mere negligence to active promotion. We call it Clicks That Kill. See, Meta isn't just a passive host for bad actors. Their algorithms and business models actively promote wildlife trade profiles. If the user starts looking for wildlife for sale, Meta's system steps in and recommends even more of it, rapidly accelerating the connection between buyers and sellers.
Think about the People You May Know feature. It's an algorithm designed to help you find friends, right? But in this context, it is literally networking poachers and buyers together. A user looking at a tiger trader's profile is automatically prompted by Meta to connect with other traffickers selling rare tortoises, birds, and monkeys. Meta's own code is practically building the black market's contact list for them.
But brace yourselves, because it gets even darker when we look at the money. Meta's push to keep users engaged means they pay content creators. Take the case of a Thai hunter who posts videos of poaching and has almost 200,000 followers. He actually monetizes this illegal content with a Facebook subscription service. That means Meta's content monetization programs and subscription services are very likely paying actual poachers to post content that drives species toward extinction. No joke.
So how on earth do they get away with this? In parts 5 and 6, we break down laws and legal shields. A huge part of the answer lies in 3 letters and 3 numbers, CDA 230. This is Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a U.S. law from way back in 1996. Meta uses this as an impenetrable legal shield, arguing that they're just a publisher, not the creator of the content, so they can't be held liable for the illegal wildlife sold on their site. But as we're going to explore, the fact that Meta's algorithms actively promote and monetize this content might just void that 1996 immunity entirely.
And just to be absolutely clear about the laws being broken here, we have to talk about CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. This establishes strict international laws regulating the cross-border trade of wild animals and plants. The traffickers thriving on Meta are bypassing CITES permits entirely, literally violating international law in plain sight.
To ground all this legal jargon in grim reality, consider a massive bust by Thai police that yielded 250 kilograms of African elephant ivory, along with carved items and jewelry. And where were the traffickers coordinating these sales? A massive Facebook group. This isn't just digital policy we're talking about. It translates to real-world slaughter and organized transnational crime.
But there is hope, and a roadmap out of this. Finally, in our 7th installment, we'll look at the path to solutions.
The crucial point is this. The coalition isn't just pointing fingers. They have concrete demands. First, Meta absolutely must enforce its own community standards, using that sophisticated AI it brags about to actually detect and remove these accounts. Second, Congress needs to amend CDA 230 with a specific carve-out for illegal wildlife trade so platforms are finally held liable. Third, governments and NGOs need better open-source intelligence capacity to track these networks. And lastly, Meta must pay reparations to help fix the massive biodiversity damage they've facilitated.
We are literally facing a digital crisis that is driving real-world ecological collapse. Meta's algorithms and business models have built the most efficient, wide-reaching, illegal wildlife market in human history. So the ultimate question for this entire investigative series is, Meta built the problem. Can we force them to fix it? I invite you to jump right into part 1 of this explainer series where we'll dive deep into the sheer scale of the wildlife currently for sale right on your feed. You won't believe what's out there.